He's a CEO, a filmmaker, an author, and an inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome M Caldwell.
The reason I'm on an anti-bullying organisation now is because at the age of 15, I was out of school. I left school because I was bullied so badly I couldn't take another day of it. I was homeless, had nowhere to live, and like 49% of Australian kids today, I thought, that's it, there's no point being here. I'm worthless, I'm useless, I'm pathetic, I believe everything that's been said to me, I'm going to end it. And that is a real statistic. 49% of Australian youths have considered suicide at some point, so it's quite the epidemic.
John, good to see you, and thanks for joining us today. Just how difficult is it to go back to school for kids who are the victims of bullying?
Yeah, it's quite horrendous. I think there are thousands of kids in Australia right now that are feeling sick to their stomach about tomorrow and having to go back to school. And we're not talking about the kids that just might get the odd name call. We're talking about vicious, relentless, never-ending attacks. Welcome to Studio 10. We're at the Abbey in West Hollywood today for our marriage equality show. We've got celebrities piling through the door to support this cause and to support Australians in their bid for marriage equality. But with me right now is not just the most immaculate celebrity I've ever seen, but possibly one of the most immaculate women I've ever seen. LaToya Jackson, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you for having me for this brilliant cause.
It's interesting, when we contacted some people about the cause, we got a very mixed reaction, but when we spoke to Jeffrey, he said immediately, we'll do it.
Absolutely.
Why is this such an important cause to you?
It's important for me for many reasons. I am for equality, regardless. And I do feel that we are living in a world with so much hatred in it. And when you find people that love each other immensely, when you find someone who can live together and know that this is what they want, to live in harmony and spend the rest of their life, something that's very special and very important, who are we to intervene and say you cannot be married?
I work along a number of different organisations, and I've tried to remain a little independent because in this space there's a big debate around whether it should be more preventative or whether we need stronger laws, and I believe we need all of it. I think you need to definitely get in from preschool. I work with students at preschool right through.
Preschool,
yeah.
Isn't that? It's just awful to think kids in preschool are being bullied.
It is, it's awful, but I think the preventative is quite amazing, and when you go to schools where they have programs in like a Better Buddies type program, the maturity of these children versus other schools is quite mind-blowing. I think the key there was non-judgmental as well. I mean, unless you're in this situation, you don't know what these women are going through. So when they go back after you've helped them, don't write them off, because the time that they really do think, I can actually really leave this time, is when they're really going to need the help and support.
Yeah.
So I think too often people write them off because they went back, but they go back for their children or for security or a whole myriad of reasons that we don't understand.
Exactly.
And you speak out a lot about gay issues and supporting gay rights, don't you?
I speak out a lot in general.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I sometimes wonder if you have any straight friends, because you seem to have a really heap of gay friends.
I do. I have 13 girlfriends. I have 4 guy friends that are straight, and then I have a gaggle of gay men that I love.
I love that term, a gaggle of gays.
A gaggle of gays.
Yeah. I'm not naive enough to think that I'm going to solve the world's bullying problem, but I do hope to make a significant generational change.
And so you were successful in business, and then came, I guess, this need to want to give back and educate people about what you went through. Is that how, as simply as it happened?
Yeah, I always thought success was about making money and buying the newest car, and I ended up with a lot of toys and something was still missing. So I started doing a little bit of work in this space, and I didn't know it was really what I needed, but it's become an absolute addiction, and it's taken a life of its own, and now I'm doing as much as I can for as many people as I can. And people constantly ask me and search for who was my mentor or what was my magical turning point, because they don't want to believe that you can just make the difference on your own. And I do believe anyone, anywhere, can actually choose to make a difference in their life.
Didn't you say, John, that marijuana is not actually that addictive?
It's not that addictive, and it's got far less side effects than a lot of these others. I guess what's your argument then as to how we've legalised for medical purposes the use of things like Oxycontin and morphine? I think also we just want to clarify, these parents aren't like lighting up a joint for their 3-year-old kids. They're putting a few drops into their bottle or whatever. It's such a tiny amount, and it's making a huge difference, and they're claiming that it's definitely keeping their children alive.
You are one of life's special people, and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and supporting our cause.
You're so wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
You've been watching Studio 10 with LaToya Jackson.